Alrighty, well, good morning and welcome to the first tech class of 2026. I thought it'd be a good idea just to run through the Command app and just to do another demonstration on it and also kind of show some of the newer features that they have updated and released for the app. Um, if you have any questions throughout this class, please let me know. More than happy to go through anything or answer anything or make a note and find an answer for you later. So let's get into it. So I wanted to start with the six kind of things I'm going to talk about that you can do with it in this class. So first one is access your digital business card. This feature was added when Popple was big, when those digital business cards were kind of big. And it's very cool. So a client can scan that card, it's a QR code, and basically that'll create you a contact card in their phone. It doesn't work both ways. You do not get their contact information, but it's a great way for them to scan it and say, you can say, okay, go ahead and text me so I have your number. So that's kind of a great way to make that a little bit easier. You can also start opportunities from the app, which is really nice. So if you're ever out and about, or you just don't have your laptop for whatever reason, you can always start an opportunity. And if you have an admin, they can kind of go in and pick it up from there, which is really nice. And then you can also customize your homepage. So if you are using the app and you're kind of like, oh, I only do these two different things on it, you can customize your homepage just to show those two different things. So you're not having to sift through all these different pages of what you don't use the app for. And then a few other things that you can do with it is you can copy and paste text from any smart plan that you have and send it directly through your phone. So this kind of helps with if you don't have Tulio, not really interested in that second phone number nonsense. This is a great way to kind of still make sure those texts are still going through from your smart plans. And then that'll actually auto prompt you to log your activity. So we've all heard about the 36 touches, all of that kind of stuff that really drives business. And how tracking that is really important for the next year so you can kind of see what's working, what's not working. But the last thing you want to do is have a text conversation with somebody and then go to a different platform and mark that you had a text conversation with somebody. So, if you do it straight from the app, the way I'm going to show you, it's going to auto prompt you to track your text and activity and that kind of thing and help you kind of count those touches for you just to make that a little bit easier. Um, and then one of the, I'd say like most beneficial features is the task list. So instead of a random reminder on your phone, or if you're like, oh, a sticky note here, a sticky note there of what I needed to do for this client, you can just go to their contact card on your phone and add a task, or just add a general task for anything. If you need to look up an email later or something like that, you can add that task to your phone. So that way you're going to start seeing those tasks like pop up. And then one thing that's pretty cool is you can send neighborhoods to your clients through text, which is really nice. And we'll walk through how to do that. That's pretty cool. I've sent a few to myself just to see how it works, and it's super user friendly and very easy. And looks pretty cool because everybody's shopping on their phone now. Might as well shop for your home on your phone. So those are like the six things we're gonna go through and how to do from the app. Any questions so far? No? Awesome, awesome. So we're gonna start with that home page, and this is how you access your digital business card. Um, And don't mind these like blackouts. I have them on different sections. Basically, so I can put this on YouTube, I had to block out my contact information, but obviously I don't care if you guys have my contact information. But just for YouTube, to get this on YouTube, basically. So this would just be my phone number and email address right here. But to access your digital business card, you're going to open the app and log in with your Command credentials. So no new password, no new username, it's just what you use to log into Command. And then you'll click up here in the right-hand corner, just your name. That'll prompt this drop down to appear. And then right here, it says my digital business card or my business card. And then we'll see this screen right here, which is just going to be your first name. And this is what you see. So your first name, email address. You can share this as a link or have them scan the QR code if you're right next to them. It's not super detailed, but it will get your number in their phone with your name. and your email address, which is really nice. Any questions on how we got here? And feel free to scan that if you want and just see what pops up, see how it works. It's pretty nice, pretty simple, but a nice little feature to know about. But any questions on how I got here or anything like that? Nope. Awesome. We'll keep rolling. And now we're going to add a new contact, task, or opportunity through the app. And a few things I want to point out here. We're still all doing this all from the home page. On the different slides, you'll see me like circle the different ones that we go through. So we're still on the home page for this one. But you're going to click this little plus button in the right-hand bottom corner. And we'll see add a contact, add a task, add an opportunity. And then this is kind of what those screens will pull up. So new contact is going to be very much like you're adding a contact to commands, so just their first and last name, phone number, email address, property address, just kind of scrolls down from there. So all the information you get from them, you can just add it to your phone right here or add it to your database right here. And then here's that task feature I was talking about. So let's say you're like, oh, I need to text this person in 72 hours about their dog or something like that. So you can go ahead and make a new task and say, I would name it a text task. So kind of like whatever you need to do, text, phone call, email. And then you can link it to their contact. So I need to call Sally and then add this description here. Call Sally in 70 like about her dog because I know she was picking him up from surgery today or something like that. And then you can set the priority and then the due date. So in 3 days from now, I want to call them, blah, blah, blah. And it'll show up as a task in your task list on your phone, which is really nice. And then down here, add an opportunity. That's just right here. So you can kind of just go through those steps there, like what kind of opportunity it is. This should be pretty familiar to everyone, but kind of same setup on the mobile version as it is on the desktop version. Awesome. Any questions on how to add a new contact, a task, or opportunity? And again, that's all accessible from the homepage, just with this little plus button. Awesome. And then here's where you can customize your homepage. And this is pretty easy to do. So you would just hit this manage layout in the top hand corner of the homepage still. And then the eyeball basically says like what's hidden versus what you're seeing. So if you're like, oh, I don't really want to see things to know, you can just hide that page. It won't show up on your homepage. And if you only want tasks to show up, you can just remove the eyeball from everything, or just kind of like make sure it's only what you want to see, just to help keep the app clean, streamlined, and you're using it for what you've decided you want to use it for. I think that's what I would do. I'd be like, okay, everything else can go, but I want my task list on here. So I have my to-do list in my phone every day. I can just log into the app and see what I need to do. Perfect. Any questions about how to kind of manage your layout, manage the homepage, and show only what you want to see? Perfect. Awesome, awesome. We'll keep moving on. So now we've moved through the homepage. That's mainly what you can do on the homepage. And down here we've moved on to the contact card. So you would just click this little contact to move on to see the whole list of your database. So basically how a contact card looks in the mobile app is very similar to how it looks on the desktop version. So up here we can see the client's like first name, first and last name, their details, so if they're marked as a lead or not, when you've last contacted them, all their different tags, and then their basic information. And then if we see this little plus button here, if we click that, that's when we can add an activity, add a note, add an opportunity, add a task, or add them to a smart plan, which is a really nice feature. So if you're like, oh, I want to add them to a neighborhood nurture, you can do that right from the app, which is really nice. So here's a way, like also if you just ran into them in public and you're like, oh, I want to note that we talked about this. You can add a note right from the app, which is super nice. Add an opportunity from here, and then also a task. So again, call Sally in 72 hours about her dog. Um, that's just another way to get to the task feature. So those pages all look the same. And then kind of moving on here, there's this panel down here with different options of things you can do. So call, text, or email. An important kind of feature about this is you're going to call from your phone's calling like phone number. So you're not calling from the command app like internally. It's gonna open up your call feature on your phone. Same with the text. However you text, like if you use iMessage or you have an Android, if you hit that text bar, it's gonna come up in your normal texting app, and then you can just write your message as normal. Email, that might be a little bit different. You can set it to email from your Gmail or from your command account, just because that's a pretty, like you email from command quite a bit. So I think you specify on that one. But let's say you want to call them directly from here, just that this is kind of um, how you would do that. You would just hit call. Their number will pop up here. You'll click call. It'll open the normal calling feature screen. And then let's say you have a conversation and then you end the call. Immediately you're going to be prompted to add an activity, which is really nice for that tracking, that 36 touch tracking that we were talking about, how it's very important to know, like, okay, we had this phone call, all that kind of stuff, or I did my smart plan task or anything like that. So would you like to add this text to Ashley's timeline? And you say yes, and then you can go on and see, oh, we had a conversation on January 7th about this thing, which is really nice. It's just that auto prompting, so you don't have to be like, oh, I didn't add that task from a few days ago or didn't add that activity. It just kind of helps everything keep streamlined. And then along the top here, it's going to be the normal kind of things that you would see on the right-hand side of their command contact card. So you're going to see the details, the timeline, the opportunities, smart plans, notes, and tasks. So you can kind of click through and see, oh, we've sold 3 houses with this person and they're on the neighborhood nurture smart plan and that kind of thing. Just kind of helps keep it all um, in one spot for you. Any questions about how to call or text through here or add an activity or anything like that? It's pretty simple once you get in there, but it's really nice. That auto prompt to log your activity is going to be huge. If anybody's goal is to track their business or track their touches a little bit better this year, that's going to be a huge time saver for everyone. Awesome. And then this is going to be that third middle icon. So this is your task icon. So view tasks and complete them. So once you click this button down here, you're going to see all your different tasks pop up. And all of mine are from Smart Plans, but you can just add them manually, and that would be this button right here. Just hit the plus button, add a task, and attach a date to it. So there's kind of 3 ways to set a task for yourself, which is really nice. So whichever way you prefer, we'll all do the same thing. They'll all funnel into this list. So you can see all of mine are past due, but that won't be the case with you guys. They're all going to say like, perfect, you got it. We did it day of, that kind of thing. So um, in here, so one example of kind of how this pops up is, okay, so all of my tasks that I need to do today, I need to call Ashley. And if it's a call feature, you can click call right here. That'll bring up your phone caller and then move through those activities. So you'd be prompted to log your activity after you call and like kind of all that stuff from the last slide. Or you can click into their card and see, okay, I need to call Ashley about this. Here's that description that you've left for yourself. So thank them for their business, ask about moving, if they need any home improvement or vendor contacts. So that's kind of nice. You don't have to go back and be like, what did I need to call them about, or where are we at this process? You've left yourself a note, so that way you can just glance at this. Perfect, we're good to go. Call them. That feature pops up. And then once you end the call, would you like to log this? Yes. Cool. Move on to your next task. So that's kind of how that workflow is going to make it really like snappy, simple. And that way you don't have a million tasks out there like, oh, this would be really good to do, but I don't want to log into command and then see my task and then have to pull out my phone, call it, and then log in on command. So it just kind of helps keep everything in the app, but it's still getting done. Any questions about that? One thing I mentioned was if you have text in your smart plans, but you don't have Tulio and you don't want to have to go to the smart plan, look at the text, copy that, go to your phone texting app, and then text it through there. All you can do is, okay, so send this text. I'll click on this kind of task um, bar right here. So send this text. It's going to have who I need to text. And you could write your text that you want to say right in here, copy and paste it, hit the text button, and it'll open your phone and you can just send the text. And that makes it so much easier. Like, okay, so I got all of this done. I don't have to type it out every time, worry about spell check or whatever. So, that's a way to really make that doable, simple, but still getting that personal text from you. So I love the task feature. I would be using that like crazy if I was a realtor and kind of really growing my business and wanting to keep on track of text communications. So I love this one. um, any questions about the task list or anything like that? This is why I would literally just close off everything else on my homepage and just have this be my task manager because it links to everything else. So that way I can literally just click in here, it goes to their contact card, tells me what I need to do, and I can do it. Um, that would be a really, really helpful. Awesome. Well, we'll keep going here. The next slide is not very exciting. So it's just notifications. And if you're like me, you have a ton of notifications in command. I think I cleared them all before I took this screenshot just to make it look better. So this one only shows four, but I promise you it was a lot more before that. But you'll just click the little bell icon and kind of go through and see notifications. Very similar to when you click on the notifications bell in the desktop version. You can just see your unread, read, that kind of thing. So pretty simple there. All right, moving on to the last kind of feature of the app is how to send neighborhoods or properties to a client through the app. So down here you can see we've moved on to this hamburger button. That's what that button's called. I always think that's so funny, but it's just the three lines. That'll bring up this screen right here, and you can click this map section right here. And then it pulls up the entire United States. So just zoom in on Ohio and Columbus. And that's what I did in this screenshot right here. And then we can start seeing those price points all pop up. And for this example, I just picked one. So I picked this 600K listing, and then it brought up this little screenshot of the house. So I clicked on that, and then it brought up the detailed card. So price, more of the address, property description, who the listing agent is, all that kind of thing. And then up here, so let's say I wanted to send this to my client, looks like it'd be a good fit. I can go up here and say share with contact. And then I just copied that screenshot over. So we still just clicked share with contact. This opens up your texting feature. So then you would just put in their name and send it like a normal link or text or anything like that. And then the text that automatically goes through is check out this listing at the address and then the little kw.com website that's been created for it. And then this is what your client will see when they click on it. It's just they can swipe through the photos here. They can kind of scroll down and see more information about it, and that kind of thing. So super nice way to just be sharing homes with clients, or say like, what do you think about this, and have a nice conversation about it. So that's a great feature. And I think it's a lot of fun. Just swipe through the photos and goes right to their phone, so they don't have to be on a computer either, or go to their email or anything like that. So this is a really nice feature. Any
Do
questions?
you know
Yeah.
if you copy that link for that listing, um, see like right below your red thing there is a share the link or
Mhm.
copy the link. Can you put that in another application? Will it post there and open?
I assume so, yeah. Like if you wanted to put it on Facebook or something.
I mean, if you could just take it out of there and put it into like a direct text message to that person,
Oh, yeah. I'm
so it'll
guessing
just
you could.
copy to
I
your
would
clipboard.
always test it with yourself first, but I don't see a reason why you couldn't.
That's an easy way to get to the listing and do that
100%. Yeah.
without opening MLS and doing all that. If you already got command open on your phone,
Yeah, 100%. Just send it right from here. Hmm. Yeah, they did good with this maps feature. This is really nice. But anything you're thinking about trying with the client, I would always send it to yourself first. Like this, I just sent this to myself just so you can see what they're gonna get. You know it's gonna work until you're more comfortable with it. Um, but yeah, I would totally think that would work. Mhm. Awesome. Any more questions about or kind of like, oh, can it do this? Can it do that? Ideas? Nope. Awesome. We're going to move on to a few other features that are a little bit newer to the app. So you can now access Quick, which is KW's AI feature, through the app, which is really nice. So it gives you a bunch of different prompts right here. So what number should I track my business, that kind of thing. I like to use it more to, let's say, like, how do I add an opportunity to a contact? So you could just ask that question right in here. It's going to give you those steps. So if you're ever like, oh, how do I do that in Command or how did I do that? Go ahead and ask KW AI or Quick right here and it'll walk you through the steps. Just make sure you screenshot the answer because as soon as you leave here, you can't go back and like read your other chats. So just make sure you screenshot it because then you'll have to go back and ask the same question. Um, but that's a nice feature. It's nice that it's in there and just a nice little like how do I do this right here, um, which is very nice. Next one is the guided tours. So this kind of helps you learn the app. So getting started, overview of the app, opportunities. So how can you manage your opportunities within the app? Gesture shortcuts. So just different things on how to better navigate the app. And then there is command training in the app as well. So this will link to, if you click the command training, this just links to the answer articles. So get started with the app, download and log in the app, which I don't know how you would get this link if you're in the app, but that's okay. And then customize your command homepage, just different things that we talked about. So different, how to do different things within the app. Awesome. Well, those were the 6 things I wanted to cover with you guys to better learn the app and kind of see what it can do, see the different screens and features. Does anybody have any questions? Anything they want to see again? Anything like that?
it's also straightforward. It's just using it, getting used to it.
100%. Yep. Yeah. They did good with the app. I think the app is a little bit more user friendly than Command itself. Um, so they did good with that. But yeah, I think they've got some really good features. The tasks and the maps are definitely the things I would be focusing on um, if I were running my own business. Like this is exactly how I want to use this app is just get all my tasks done and send them a house or two from the app, which is really nice. But awesome. Awesome, awesome.
Great, thanks, Ashley.
Yes, of course. Thank you guys for attending the first class of 2026. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll get this recording out to you guys. And then I will also have this PowerPoint and the recording on the KWCP Hub. Um, but then other than that, I look forward to seeing you guys in another training. We don't have too much coming up in January, but there's a homebuyer seminar, or yeah, homebuyer seminar on the 14th. And then there's a buyer presentation or by a consultation class coming up on the 21st, I believe. So not too much, but those would be pretty good to attend as well. Uh,
Okay,
awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great rest of your day.
thanks.
Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay.
Thanks. See ya.